Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your favourite fantastic film reviewer from Down Under, Ben, and I'm reviewing none other than a film I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time, and that is The Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, this film, obviously, I've been looking forward to for quite some time as I am a big MCU fan, and naturally, on top of that, I am very familiar with the Fantastic Four. Obviously, I've seen the OG films back in the day from the early 2000s, which say whatever you think about them. I grew up on them, so there's somewhat of a nostalgia there. But this film is also directed by Matt Shakman, who did WandaVision, which, in my opinion, is still kind of the magnum opus of the Marvel television kind of route. And I think when he was announced as the director, I thought it was the perfect director purely for the fact it's obviously a somewhat period piece similar to WandaVision. They had that retro vibe, and I thought, what better way, what better director to do it? And I feel like this is a perfect step, obviously, with there was Deadpool Wolverine and Marvel obviously owning the 20th Century Fox side of the business now. What better way to introduce the first family in the MCU? Now, I'm just so ecstatic to say this film is, full pun intended, genuinely fantastic. I think this is a serious return to form for Marvel. I did really enjoy the Thunderbolts, which came out, Thunderbolts Asterix, which came out earlier in the year. Captain America, not so much, but it's pretty well perceived that they're in somewhat of a bit of a dull. Obviously, you've even got Superman coming out, which came out 2 weeks ago, I think now. And I said in that review that competition is a good thing, in my opinion. It means they up their quality, and I feel like obviously they wouldn't have seen it till now, but this is a fantastic movie. Now, to just purely chat about the direction, I think Matt Shakman did a perfect job. I think the retro vibe and the aesthetic of the film really, really worked for this team and this family. And he did a phenomenal job there, and everyone in their craft, whether it be the costume design, the set designs, the actual color scape of the whole film, it just looked beautiful. And not only that, the visual effects, in my opinion, were it was one of the best Marvel looking films. Now, not only that, obviously you've got Galactus as the somewhat of the villain, and he looks fantastic. This film was in IMAX, and they really utilized that IMAX scope. So if you are in a proper IMAX or near a proper IMAX cinema, it really does work in that environment. And not only that, you've obviously got Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer, and she is really, really good. Is, in my opinion, one of the MVPs of the film. She is fantastic, and the visual effects they did on that Silver Surfer character is really something incredible, like to the point where there's even reflections coming off that look phenomenal. But I think that without a doubt, the best thing I got to say about the film is this is the best iteration of these characters that have come to screen, in my opinion. And I think this casting across the board is fantastic. I think Pedro Pascal was one of my. I really like him as an actor, but it was one of the ones I was probably more interested in because I do feel like he's somewhat in everything, but he really solidifies himself as Reed Richards in this film, and it is something different to what we've seen him in, and I thought he was really, really good. And Johnny Storm, played by Joseph Quinn, he is also fantastic, and the way these characters intertwine and react with each other, they have phenomenal chemistry, which is exactly what you want in a Fantastic Four film. And I think Ebon Moss-Backrack, now forgive me if I butchered that, as Ben Grimm or the Thing, he is also, his voice work is fantastic in this as well, and I think he really suits the role. But I got to give it up for Vanessa Kirby. I've always sang her praises on this channel. She is fantastic as Sue Storm, and one of the MVPs also, in my opinion. I think she really held the fort with that family vibe and almost the anchor of the family, and really, really was fantastic in this film. Forgive me if I use that word too many times, but overall, I'm just ecstatic to sing the praises of this film. I think the blockbuster world is a better place when Marvel are doing well because it makes everyone else on notice, and the quality needs to jump. But I had so much fun with this film. There is so much heart. There is so much comedic factors into it that that really, really work. It's not your normal Marvel comedy that I found in this. It really, really worked. But not only that, I think the Michael Giacchino score to really intertwine with the retro aesthetic and vibe was phenomenal. And I think I've said it a lot on this channel before. If you watch these reviews, I talk about weight a lot, and you really felt the weight in this audio as well when dealing with people like Galactus, but even Ben Grimm and The Thing and Johnny Storm, and I think they really nailed the visual look of all the powers as well. But I'm just so happy to sing its praises. I had an absolute ball with this film. I had a great time. I can't wait to see what people think of it. I think it'll really, really do well in its reception and also at the box office. And I think what better way to welcome in? It was winter here, but the summer in America with, you know, two great back-to-back superhero films, and we've got more on the way in terms of movies coming out this year. I was lucky enough to see the Avatar 3 trailer before as well, so when you see it, this film over the weekend, it'll show that, and I can't wait for that. But overall, I just had an absolute ball. But comment below, let me know what you think. If you like the review, please do give it a like. It does mean a lot. And subscribe for more. We'll see you next time.